All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're tackling something we actually get asked pretty often,
Yeah, for sure.
and that is, can permanent residents in Canada get a PAL,
That's
a possession and acquisition license, if you're not familiar?
right?
So we've got some good resources online from the Government of Canada about firearms licensing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to kind of try to help you wade through it all.
Yeah.
Imagine, you've come to Canada, you've made it your home,
Right.
you're settling in, and maybe you're thinking about exploring shooting sports or hunting.
Yep.
It's a big decision, and knowing the rules is a pretty important first step.
For sure. Yeah. It's a question we get a lot. People want to, make sure they understand their rights and how the system works here.
Right. So let's cut to the chase. Can permanent residents actually get a PL?
Yeah. So the simple answer is yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Canada's firearms laws treat permanent residents the same as citizens when it comes to PL eligibility. So anyone 18 or older who meets the other requirements can apply.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's great news for folks who are, making Canada their permanent home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the same opportunities to participate in firearm-related activities.
Yeah.
But what about people who are just visiting or living here temporarily?
Right. So non-residents can also apply for a PL.
Okay.
There are a few extra steps involved, though.
Yeah.
They'll need to provide things like a letter of good conduct from their home country,
Got it.
basically showing they have a clean record
Okay.
and potentially a background check as well.
Okay.
It's all about ensuring public safety regardless of where you're from.
Yeah, that makes sense. Safety is paramount.
Yeah.
Now, while we're talking about, all these different situations, I noticed something called a miner's license.
Right.
What's the story there?
So the miner's license is designed for young people who are at least 12 years old but not yet 18.
Oh.
It allows them to borrow non-restricted firearms, so typically rifles and shotguns, or things like supervised target shooting or hunting with a licensed adult.
Okay, so it's all about introducing them to firearms safely and responsibly.
Exactly.
So they can get some experience under their belt, but with the right guidance.
Yeah.
Does a miner's license let them buy their own firearms or ammunition?
So they can purchase ammunition with a miner's license,
Okay.
but they can't buy firearms themselves.
Okay.
And even with ammunition, there might be additional age restrictions,
Okay.
depending on the province, or even store policies.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
It seems like the system is set up with multiple layers of safety checks, which makes sense given the seriousness of firearms.
For sure.
Okay, let's say someone, maybe our hypothetical new resident,
Mm-hmm.
wants to own restricted firearms like handguns.
Right.
Imagine that opens up a whole other set of requirements.
Yeah, you're right. Restricted firearms have a higher level of regulation. Anyone wanting to own them, whether a citizen or permanent resident, needs to complete the Canadian Restricted Firearms Safety Course. It's a pretty comprehensive course covering everything from firearm history and types to safe handling storage transportation, and of course your legal responsibilities as an owner.
Right.
There's even a practical component where you learn proper shooting techniques.
Wow. So it's not just about knowing the rules, it's about building the skills to handle these firearms safely and responsibly.
Exactly. Yeah, the course aims to give you a thorough understanding of restricted firearms and what it means to own them in Canada.
Awesome. Okay, so to recap, it's fantastic news that permanent residents have equal footing with citizens when it comes to getting a PAL.
Yep.
Opens up a lot of possibilities, whether it's target shooting, hunting, or collecting.
Yeah.
And if restricted firearms are of interest, remember that safety course is essential.
Absolutely. And for anyone in British Columbia who wants to learn more or take that next step, I always recommend checking out BC Firearms.
Oh, yeah.
They have a ton of free resources on their website.
Right.
And they offer the safety courses at various locations around the province, making it very accessible.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we've come to the end of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
We've learned that, yes, as a permanent resident, you can absolutely get a PL in Canada.
Yep.
But now comes the bigger question. What will you choose to do with that knowledge?
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.